The crisis in black male-black female relationships, is it a false problem? Disenchantment with the institution of marriage, disharmony, disrespect, separation, divorce. Single female-headed households the norm, the absence of male models for developing black male children and youth, epidemic levels of teenage pregnancy, thousands of children abandoned to foster care and adoption, black male bisexuality and homosexuality, black female bisexuality and homosexuality, increasing numbers of black females with more education and income than their black male counterparts, hardly any black persons knowing 5 happy black couples. Given these dynamics as ever-present realities in the black community, it would seem that there is a crisis of immense and serious proportions in the black male-black female relationship in the final decades of the 20th century. This crisis has far-reaching ramifications that touch every aspect of black life, extending into facets of the larger social order. During the past decade, this apparent problem has been seminared, dialogued, discussed, debated, probed, and shouted about from every conceivable angle. Innumerable remedies have been proposed. No matter from what angle this issue is approached, the problems don't disappear. Instead, they seem to multiply, and the alienation between the black male and the black female just increases. If black male-black female alienation is not resolved, is there hope for a meaningful future for the black race? Case in point, already some blacks are discussing the relationship between the black male and the white female, or the black female and the white male. These discussions indicate that alienation has grown to the point of black racial suicide. In the title of this chapter, I ask if this dilemma between the black male and the black female is a false problem. Are we perhaps focusing on the wrong issues in the attempt to end black male-black female alienation? A false problem is one that, on the surface, appears to be valid, but upon closer scrutiny is only a symptom of the true problem. In the present discussion, this means that the discord between black males and black females and the failure to establish long-lasting harmonious relationships are caused by another problem. When the underlying dynamic is exposed, analyzed, and understood, it is possible to remedy the symptom. Only then can short-term and long-term tactics be developed. When the underlying cause is discovered, addressed, and neutralized, the false problem begins to wither away. If we are successful in finding the true cause of the alienation and neutralizing that cause, then black male-black female alienation will yield to true harmony. The largest unified movement presently occurring amongst black people is the demonstrations against apartheid in South Africa. Although many people use the word apartheid only in reference to South Africa, the fundamental meaning of apartheid is white supremacy, white rule and domination over blacks and other non-whites. This very same dynamic, in its more highly refined forms, exists worldwide, wherever and whenever whites have come into contact with peoples who possess the genetic potential to produce melanin in their skin. Amongst many other horrible things, the system of white minority rule in South Africa legally enforces prolonged separation of the black male and the black female, causing fragmentation of black family life. Similarly, under the American slavery system, black males and black females were forbidden by law to marry and stabilize their relationships. To prevent their unity, often black males and females who became intimate were sent to different plantations by their slaveholders. Besides the example of South Africa, the surface appearance of white rule during the past 125 years has been altered. However, the fundamental dynamic of white supremacy has remained untouched. Tragically, too few people wish to come to terms with an in-depth analysis of the global behavioral phenomenon of white supremacy, although the vast majority of the world. As people are victimized by it in all areas of their life activity, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Failure to analyze the white supremacy dynamic deeply is a tragedy because this dynamic is the fundamental cause of the failed relationships between black males and black females. It prevented marriages of black males and black females during American slavery, and it currently separates the black male and the black female for 11 months out of each year in South Africa. This same white supremacy dynamic has kept Nelson and Winnie Mandela apart for over 20 years, because whites fear white genetic annihilation, and because only males can initiate sexual intercourse forcefully. During slavery, black males were oppressed more harshly than black females. This pattern of greater pressure on the non-white male is historic and continues. This explains why black males are victimized harshly by police brutality and arrest, and also illuminates why they are victimized most harshly by the educational system. Because of their extreme victimization in these two areas, black males have the highest levels of unemployment and underemployment, the highest rates of prison incarceration, the highest incidence of school failure and school dropout rates, the highest incidence of alcoholism, the highest rates of drug use and addiction, the highest homicide rates, the most rapidly increasing suicide rate, and the shortest lifespan. Also, the black male most often finds himself outside of the black family structure in the epidemic condition of homelessness. This excessive and disproportionate pressure on the black male by the global white supremacy system produces a grave imbalance between the black male and the black female, even though both are victimized by white supremacy. This imbalance has produced what some incorrectly call the black matriarchy. However, this is not black matriarchy, but white genetic survival necessity and its fear of the potential for genetic annihilation that the black male represents. This conscious and unconscious struggle for white genetic survival by the global white collective necessitates certain basic and specific relationship patterns between whites and black males and whites and black females in all areas of life activity. An appropriate analogy is found in the game of chess. The white king, the companion white queen, and all of the other white pieces on the chessboard must move in certain specific patterns against the black king, the black queen, and all of the other black pieces if the white king is to checkmate the black king. That is, of course, the main objective of the game of chess. And in the game of chess, white always makes the opening move. The black king and the black queen must move in tactical and strategic harmony with one another if they are to counter the white assault successfully and defend their side of the chessboard effectively. This harmony is particularly crucial if they are to checkmate the white king. If someone with no in-depth knowledge about the game of chess sits down at the chessboard to play the black side of the board while an expert in the game of chess sits down on the white side of the board, the player on the black side of the board surely will lose the game. He or she will be checkmated repeatedly. The player on the black side simply does not understand the game. If, however, that same person, who repeatedly has lost all previous games, takes it upon herself to sit down and master the game of chess through continuous hard work and study, she will have an excellent chance of being victorious. With consistent and continuous study, she can become an expert, establishing a pattern of continuous wins and successes. It is much easier for white supremacy to control female-headed households, wherein black females must confront a white male-dominated power system alone. Further, these female-headed survival units eventually produce more passive and effeminized male offspring, or male offspring with dysfunctional behavioral patterns, who, in many cases, eventually will be incarcerated as antisocials, continuing the necessary black male-black female separation. Stabilized union between the black male and the black female means the eventual end to white supremacy. When the black male and the black female simply define their joint struggle in terms of achieving education, housing, jobs, and money, rather than as specifically countering the global and local dynamic for white genetic survival, we are attempting to function with the wrong game manual and with all of the wrong rules. While we have remained confused, the global and local white collectives consciously and/or unconsciously have mastered white genetic survival strategies in all areas of life activity. Thus, we as blacks are being checkmated continuously by the local and global white collectives. We are the victims of white supremacy, who spend most of our time squabbling, struggling, and fighting with one another. Thus, matters go from bad to worse, especially in such critical areas as the black male-black female relationship, the very foundation of the black nation. Until now, we have attempted to function as united black males and black females, with no knowledge of exactly how the white supremacy dynamic must drive the black male and the black female apart. Therefore, we have failed in the past and we continue to fail in this relationship. If we understood white supremacy, the number one priority for each black male and black female would not be to reach out for one another with designs of dependency, love, lust, or marriage. Instead, we would seek to master specific patterns of perception, logic, thought, speech, action, and emotional response that would counter the white supremacy dynamic scientifically. We would codify such behaviors and practice them day and night. We would become single-minded in our activity, knowing that unless global and local white supremacy is attacked continuously and effectively, the black male-black female relationship has no chance of surviving. Black males and black females would be in a continuous exchange of information, knowledge, and understanding about how to counter white supremacy more effectively. This quality of exchange could take place as much as we exchange phone numbers, jokes, dance steps, trivia, and drugs. There would be much less time to look into each other's eyes and become bored, and then start quarreling and fighting. Instead, both persons would be looking outward, beyond themselves, to counter local and global white supremacy, which is the real problem annihilating the black collective. Actually, people grow closer together as long as they remain focused outwardly in the same direction. By maintaining a like-minded focus, Nelson and Winnie Mandela of South Africa have evolved possibly the strongest marriage known to black people worldwide. They deserve recognition as the model for the black male-black female relationship. They are looking outward beyond themselves to fight white supremacy. By specifically fighting white supremacy, they prevent that force of injustice from driving them apart. When both the black male and the black female take up the struggle for justice against white supremacy, they are endowed with the strongest possible assurance that they will remain united. They are united in a common effort against injustice, and simultaneously, they express the strongest possible statement about respect and love for themselves as individuals. In doing this, the black male and black female are declaring that they have conferred upon themselves the highest possible value, which is essential if there is to be self and group defense. The new answer to the black male-black female relationship dilemma is for the black male and the black female to make serious, conscious struggle against white supremacy their number one priority. Fortunately, Neely Fuller has written a textbook for victims of white supremacy that details specific behaviors that the black male and female must adopt in order to combat effectively the force that is driving them apart. Fuller suggests that the most critical question is how black males and black females spend their time, how they use each of the 24 hours in the day. He recommends 1. Constructive conversation, 2. Constructive work, 3. Sufficient eating and sleeping, and 4. Sexual intercourse, no more than twice a week. These suggestions deserve our full consideration. If energy use was limited to just these activities by each black male and black female, certainly we would become more responsible towards ourselves as individuals, which would translate into more responsible interaction with one another. It is critical that we realize our present patterns of behavior permit white supremacy to exist. Directed radical change in black behavior, as suggested above, will alter permanently the face of white supremacy. Its victimization of the black male and the black female and the destruction of the black male-black female relationship